Have you ever seen someone step onto the court and completely redefine what you thought a basketball star should look like? Caitlin Clark has that effect. She's not just another athlete, she's a game changer. From the moment the ball hits her hands, something shifts in the air. You think you know what to expect: tall, towering, maybe a little intimidating, but here's the thing: Caitlin Clark will leave you doing a double take. Why? Because her size, her presence, and her skill don't just break the mold, they shatter it. Right now you might be wondering, what's so surprising about her size? Well, let me tell you, it's not what it seems. Caitlin's height, her build, and the way she uses her body on the court are nothing short of extraordinary. But the real shock isn't just about numbers on a stat sheet. It's about how she makes her size work in ways that will make you question everything you thought you knew about basketball. And here's the kicker: what if I told you that Caitlin's size, instead of being a disadvantage in a world of towering athletes, has actually made her one of the most unstoppable forces in college basketball? By the end of this video, you'll see exactly how she flips expectations upside down, how she turns her supposed limitations into strengths, and why her game is something even the tallest players can't match. Stick around, because in the final section of this video, I'll share a jaw-dropping moment from Caitlin's career that proves why she's unlike anyone else in the game. It's a story you don't want to miss, and trust me, it'll make you see her in a whole new light. Now that you're hooked, let's break down exactly what makes Caitlin Clark so unique, starting with how she's become the player everyone's talking about. Caitlin Clark isn't just a name in college basketball, she's the name. Playing for the Iowa Hawkeyes, she's become one of the most talked about athletes in the sport. Her skill set is nothing short of legendary. Whether it's her pinpoint shooting, her unbelievable basketball IQ, or her fearless style of play, Caitlin has proven she's not just good, she's extraordinary. What makes her rise even more captivating is how quickly she's become a sensation. College basketball is filled with stars, but Caitlin shines in a way that demands attention. Her stats are jaw-dropping, leading her team in scoring, assists, and even making shots from distances that make you wonder, did she just pull that off? Yet, there's more to her story than just numbers. When Caitlin first burst onto the scene, she didn't exactly look like the intimidating type. At 6 feet tall, she's not the towering presence many expect in a basketball powerhouse. But here's where the story gets interesting. Instead of being overlooked because of her size, Caitlin took every doubter's glance and turned it into motivation. And boy, did she deliver. What sets Caitlin apart is the way she plays the game. She doesn't just shoot, she dominates. She doesn't just pass, she creates opportunities that leave defenses scrambling. Every moment she's on the court, she's rewriting what it means to be a basketball star. And as we'll uncover, her size isn't a barrier, it's her secret weapon. Here's a question for you: what do you think happens when a player combines unstoppable determination with a skill set that's miles ahead of the competition? The answer lies in Caitlin Clark, and in the next section, we'll reveal how she's turned her size into an advantage that makes her untouchable. When you think of a top basketball player, the image is almost automatic: tall, broad, and physically dominant. Caitlin Clark rewrites that script. At 6 feet tall, she's not the tallest player on the court, and in a sport where height is often king, you'd think she'd be at a disadvantage. But Caitlin doesn't just play the game, she outsmarts it. Here's what makes her unique: Caitlin's size allows her to move in ways that larger, slower players can't. Her speed is lightning quick, her footwork is precise, and her agility makes her almost impossible to defend. Defenders might think they have her cornered, but in a blink, she's crossed over, creating space for a shot or making a pinpoint pass. It's not about overpowering her opponents, it's about outthinking them. And then there's her shooting. Caitlin is lethal from long range. Her deep three-pointers are the kind of shots that make crowds gasp. Think about it: players her size are usually expected to stay in the mid-range, but Caitlin defies that expectation. She steps back, drains impossible shots, and leaves her defenders shaking their heads. It's not just her skill that's impressive, it's her confidence to take shots most wouldn't even dare to attempt. But there's more. Caitlin's ball handling is on another level. She weaves through defenses with ease, creating opportunities not just for herself but for her teammates. Her smaller frame, compared to traditional big players, actually gives her the edge in control and finesse. Instead of battling for dominance under the hoop, Caitlin controls the game from every corner of the court. Here's the real twist: Caitlin's size doesn't limit her, it sets her apart. It forces her opponents to rethink their entire strategy, and in doing so, she stays 2 steps ahead. By the end of this section, One thing should be clear: Caitlin Clark isn't just playing basketball, she's redefining it. In the next section, we'll talk about the secret weapon that makes her so unstoppable: her mental toughness. And trust me, this is where the story gets even more fascinating. If Caitlin Clark's size gives her a physical edge, her mindset is what truly makes her unstoppable. On the basketball court, every second counts and every decision can make or break the game. Caitlin plays with a level of focus and composure that few athletes can match. She's not just fast with her feet, she's fast with her mind. Here's the thing: Caitlin isn't intimidated by bigger or stronger opponents. She knows exactly how to exploit their weaknesses. Her basketball IQ is off the charts, and she's constantly reading the game, predicting moves, and positioning herself in the perfect spot. It's almost as if she's one step ahead of everyone else on the court. Her confidence is another weapon. When Caitlin takes a shot, there's no hesitation, no second guessing. She believes it's going in, and most of the time, it does. That kind of belief isn't something you can teach. It comes from relentless preparation and an unshakable mental toughness. But here's what's really special about Caitlin: she thrives under pressure. When the stakes are high and the game is on the line, she doesn't flinch. Instead, she rises to the occasion, delivering clutch shots and game-changing plays that leave both fans and opponents in awe. It's not just her skill that wins games, it's her ability to stay calm, focused, and fearless when it matters most. Let me ask you this: how many athletes can handle the weight of constant expectations and still perform at the highest level every single time? Caitlin does it with a smile on her face. And that's what makes her stand out: not just her physical ability, but her mental strength. But Caitlin's mindset isn't just about winning games. It's about breaking barriers and proving that success isn't defined by how big you are, it's about how big you think. And in the final section, we'll reveal a moment from Caitlin's career that shows just how far her mindset and determination can take her. Trust me, it's a story that will leave you inspired. If you want to understand the full impact of Caitlin Clark, there's one moment in her career that says it all. It was during a high-stakes game, with her team down and the pressure at its peak. The crowd was on edge, the clock was ticking, and everyone expected the usual heroes to step up. But Caitlin? She seized the moment in a way that left everyone speechless. With just seconds left on the clock, Caitlin took the ball, surveyed the court, and made a move no one saw coming. She dribbled past defenders with surgical precision, stopped just past the half-court line, and launched a three-pointer that seemed impossible. Time stood still as the ball soared through the air, and then, nothing but net. The arena erupted. That shot didn't just win the game, it cemented Caitlin as a legend. It wasn't just the shot itself that was impressive, it was what it represented. Caitlin Clark, a player who didn't fit the typical mold, had just defied every expectation. Her size didn't matter, her doubters didn't matter. All that mattered was her ability to rise to the occasion and deliver when it counted the most. That moment wasn't just a victory for Caitlin, it was a message to every athlete, every fan, and every young girl watching: success isn't about fitting in. It's about standing out, owning your strengths, and refusing to let others define your limits. So, what's the bigger takeaway here? Caitlin Clark is living proof that greatness isn't measured in inches or pounds, it's measured in heart, skill, and determination. She's not just a basketball player, she's a force, a trailblazer, and an inspiration to anyone who's ever been told they weren't enough. If you've made it this far, here's your reward. Caitlin's story doesn't stop here. She's still writing it, one game at a time, and we're all lucky enough to witness it. But now it's your turn. Take Caitlin's story as fuel for your own. Whatever your goals are, whatever challenges stand in your way, remember this: size doesn't define you, your mindset does. And before you go, here's a question for you: who's the next game changer we should spotlight? Drop your suggestions in the comments, because this channel is about celebrating those who inspire us to dream bigger and reach higher. Thanks for watching, and don't miss the next story that might just change how you see the world.